Hey everyone, how's it going? Hassan here. Just want to do this little Ranger vlog because what I've been doing this entire month of January so far is it's been my goal for this month to try and release a new video, at least one new video every day this month. Whether it's a review, a vlog, or whatever it is, I want to release at least one new video just because I have so much to post. And I've been posting so many things, a bunch of Super Megaforce reviews, a bunch of stuff, and it's like burning me out, honestly. I'm already getting kind of tired. So I wanted to kind of make today just a bit more chill, where I can just kind of sit in front of the camera and talk. So I want to do a special little Ranger vlog today rather than post a review today. But I will have more reviews continuing tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that, including the Power Rangers Megaforce 3DS game. So I will be doing a little review on that, giving my thoughts on what that game is like. But basically, this Ranger vlog is about Power Rangers Super Megaforce. We're about roughly maybe a month away. We don't know an exact premiere date yet. We don't know, but things are kind of hinting at February 15th, I believe, might be the premiere date, but we'll see. Nothing confirmed yet. But so roughly a month away or so. And, you know, I wanted to kind of talk about why I'm excited for Super Megaforce. And yes, I actually am pretty excited for it. And, you know, I'm very curious to see what they're going to do. It's definitely going to be very interesting for multiple reasons. I haven't watched too much Sentai in terms of like full seasons. There's a couple Sentais I've watched like 10 episodes of or things like that, but Shinkenger was the first one I saw all of, and then Gokaiger was the next one that I watched all of. And I love Gokaiger. You know, now we have the Gokaiger adaptation, Super Megaforce. And before I kind of get into specifically why I'm excited, I want to kind of set the stage a little bit and explain how I look at things in terms of Power Rangers and Super Sentai. Because I know there's a lot of people thinking this, and I'm sure that will continue throughout the next year, of a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, Saban Brands is just ruining Gokaiger. How dare they? They're just completely destroying it. Ah, and everybody's getting all angry. And look, chill, people. All right, chill out. Because here's the thing. Guess what? All right, come February or whenever, you know, Super Megaforce premieres, right? Let's say Super Megaforce is on TV and you start watching it. You know what? This sucks, right? So guess what? You can still go and watch Gokaiger. It's not disappearing. It's still there. You can still go watch your episodes. So that's the thing. Even when Super Megaforce premieres, it's not magically going to like erase Gokaiger. It still exists. It's still there. So I don't understand the complaints of people saying Saban is going to ruin Gokaiger. No, they're not. That's not possible. Gokaiger is already finished. It's done. It exists. They can't ruin it. Now, they may not do a good job of Power Rangers Super Megaforce, but that's a completely different thing. And the way that I look at Power Rangers is I judge Power Rangers on its own. You know, I judge it for what it is. And yes, Power Rangers is an adaptation of Super Sentai, but that doesn't really mean anything in terms of the quality of Power Rangers. Because you could have the best Super Sentai season and have the worst Power Ranger season, or the worst Super Sentai season and the best Power Ranger season. It really doesn't correlate. Yes, you're using, you know, the same footage in terms of the Zords and the Ranger suits and the weapons and all that stuff. So if it's something like you're not a fan of like Tokyugers coming out, right? And some people don't like the designs or the Megazord or whatever. Okay, yeah, so that might hinder some enjoyment of Power Rangers because of those designs. But you can't change that. That's not something that you can criticize Power Rangers for. They're stuck with it, basically, you know? They get what they get. But no, I'm talking about like the actual, the quality of the episodes themselves. And let's take Samurai as an example, right? Samurai was very much a translation of Shinkenger. But I didn't watch Samurai thinking of Shinkenger in my head. I mean, okay, sometimes, yeah, I did because I had watched Shinkenger, but I wasn't trying to criticize Power Rangers or critique it based on Shinkenger. Because there are things that Samurai adapted well and things that they did not adapt well. And, you know, I'll give you two examples here, right? So one example is Master Xandred is, honestly, in my opinion, one of the most boring and lamest villains ever, because he just didn't do anything pretty much all season until the very end. Very lame. I think they elaborated more on it in Shinkenger, about how he was very weakened and this and that, you know, and so it kind of, even though I really didn't like him then, he kind of, it still gave you a bit more of a reason as to why things were the way they were. Samurai, they kind of did, but it was more like, Master Xandred has a headache, you know, oh well, he needs to rest. Well, okay, yeah, so what? Like, the villain has a headache, so he's just not going to conquer the world? Like, you know, I mean, yeah, they did explain some stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of those types of things where, since they were directly translating the Japanese version, it didn't translate well. And so, Power Rangers as a show, if I had never watched Shinkenger, I would be thinking to myself, Master Xandred's a pretty lame villain. Like, he really didn't do much, you know? So that's the way that I'm judging the show. If I had never watched Shinkenger, how does that turn out in Power Rangers? And I thought Master Xandred was a pretty lame villain, in my opinion. So that's a negative of Samurai. Not because of what he did or didn't do in Shinkenger, because they can always film original footage or give more of a backstory or something. They can always elaborate on that in Power Rangers. They have the freedom to do that if they want. And they didn't in Samurai. So I thought that was one thing. There's many little things like that in Samurai. But at the same time, people, you know, will criticize shows like Samurai, saying, you know, they weren't very original or anything like that. But here's the issue that I have with that. Being original does not mean it's going to be good. All right, let's continue with the Samurai example, right? And the other example I want to bring up was Bulk and Spike. Bulk and Spike, the idea of having Bulk return on Power Rangers and having Skull's son, Spike, like with him, is one of the greatest ideas in my opinion. Just because I grew up on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and I've watched the show all these years, and seeing Bulk back on the show, and oh my goodness, that was so awesome to see. And just that idea made me so happy. I was very excited about it. But honestly, for the most part, they had their moments, but for the most part, I was rather annoyed with the way that they were put in the show. Like, it was just an afterthought. They were just the filler. And in fact, in many episodes, they literally had no purpose other than to do random stuff that was, you know, kind of funny. But, like, there was no interaction with the cast. Like, Bulk and Skull were constantly, like, every episode with the Power Ranger cast. These guys, I mean, there was a little bit with Mia, very little with Emily, a little bit with Antonio, but the vast majority of the time, Bulk and Spike were doing their own thing. And if you're going to be original, you should, you know, interact with the cast. So for me, even though they were trying to be original with Samurai with that was one of the things that I would critique about the show. That's one of the things that I would say did not turn out well, because it was sort of like the whole time I would see them, I was thinking, okay, well, when are they going to meet the Rangers? When are they going to do something? You know, like, I was waiting for more, but we never got it. You know, that's not to say, so here's the deal for people like, you know, I know I'm hating on Samurai, and a lot of people do, but Samurai and Super Samurai, overall, I enjoyed them. Because there were other things that they did well. And in fact, there's plenty of things they translated from Shinkenger that I thought worked out well in Samurai and Super Samurai. And the things that were original, like I liked the Super Mega Mode suits, and the Mega Mode suits for that matter. I liked the Shogun mode for the Red Ranger, and other little things like that I thought worked well. You know, so they had its good points. But anyways, my point is, adaptation and originality, those types of things, they don't affect the final quality of the show. It's all how you do those things. You know, Samurai, you know, was a direct translation, and most people did not like that, but I wouldn't criticize it because of that, because it had potential. Super Samurai was definitely an improvement, and they had some more things that they did with it. I thought that turned out a bit better. You know, so it's, to me, just because Gokaiger was so awesome doesn't necessarily mean Super Megaforce will or won't be. You know, like, it could go either way. And it's up to the people that work on Power Rangers to determine that. You know, they can determine how much effort they put into it. That's something that we can criticize them, but we can't I hesitate to compare Power Rangers to Sentai, you know. But anyways, that was a very long kind of somewhat related rant. But bringing that into what I think of Super Megaforce. So, you know, I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know exactly how Super Megaforce is going to be. What I can say is that they are obviously going to be using the Ranger suits, the weapons, the Zords, and everything. And I loved all those things. I love the suits. You know, I have the like the 5-inch, you know, Super Megaforce figures I did a review of. Like, these guys are awesome. And I collect the toys, so actually finally getting toys of these guys is so awesome. So I'm very, you know, happy about getting these. You know, so that's one thing that that I'm excited about. Just finally seeing these suits, the weapons, Zords, everything on the show. That's going to be cool. In terms of the story, I mean, they're going to have to do something different. You know, it's going to be a different story because Gokaiger was all about them being pirates and trying to get all these other Ranger powers as treasures and everything, right? And they're trying to find the greatest treasure in the universe. Now, that's obviously not going to be the case for Power Rangers. And in fact, they're doing something very original in that they're taking the Goseiger, you know, Rangers, the Megaforce team, and transitioning those into Super Megaforce. Like, not even just transitioning, this is going to be a power-up to the suits used in Goseiger. So it's a completely original thing. Good or bad, we don't know yet. So, I mean, you can't really criticize them for saying they're not being original because that is pretty original, and they're going to have to film a lot of original footage for it because you're going to have the Megaforce Rangers fighting Gokaiger, you know, villains, and then suddenly they transform into Super Megaforce. And so, you know, they're going to have to be creative with that, and they're not going to be like pirates and stuff. You know, they're still kids in high school, and it's just continuing that story forward from last season. And Vrock is continuing into this season. Robo Knight as well. Robo Knight is continuing. So there's a lot of things that they're bringing over, a lot of things that are original. And that's actually what I'm very excited about. Not because I think, you know, that'll make it good or bad or whatever, but I just want to see what they're going to do. I'm curious. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to do all that. You know, what's the transformation sequence going to look like from Megaforce to Super Megaforce? I'm very curious about that, about all that. And Gokaiger had a lot of cameos from past Rangers and stuff, and, you know, yeah, you can kind of use that and then kind of expect similar cameos with Super Megaforce, but personally, I didn't think that way, because again, I'm not trying to compare the two. Just because they had cameos in one doesn't mean they have to this time. Would be cool, but I can't fault them for not doing that necessarily. But good thing is they are going to be doing some. So Alex Hartman will be back as Jaden from Samurai. Jason Smith is back as Casey from Jungle Fury. Very excited about those. Maybe some other secrets that we don't know. Although honestly, I'm going to have to guess and say that's about it. Aside from the final legendary battle with the however many, 10, 11 people that are returning. That will be really cool to see. So I'm very excited about all that. So, yeah, I mean, Super Megaforce, I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, you know, and I can't really judge that until I watch the show. Just because Gokaiger was awesome, and doesn't mean this is going to be awesome. And for people that didn't like Megaforce, that doesn't mean you're not going to like this. You still have to wait and see, because there's so many variables involved. You know, I mean, personally, I have a feeling that I will enjoy it somewhat. Whether I will think it is absolutely amazing or if I will just enjoy it, I don't know. But, I mean, having these guys finally on the show, these suits, which I love, and seeing just whatever they come up with. I'm very curious to see how they're going to do the whole transition over from the Megaforce powers to Super Megaforce, and how Vrock is going to play into the story, and Robo Knight and all that stuff. So I'm excited for Super Megaforce for those reasons. And to see the past Rangers return, because, come on, past Rangers, that's going to be cool. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. You know, you name drop something from a previous season, you bring back a Power Ranger, like, count me in. You know, I'm excited about that, because I love this whole universe that they've built up over 20 years, and being able to explore that, you know, and kind of dabble in little bits of it, bring forth different references from different seasons. That's kind of cool to me. I really like when they do that kind of stuff. So that's my thought on Super Megaforce. You know, we'll have to wait and see how it actually turns out. And, you know, maybe after a couple months, I'll do another Ranger vlog as a follow-up talking about what I actually think of the show. But for now, you know, I can't say how it's going to be. You know, I can't really use Gokaiger as a comparison. You can use Gokaiger to know what kinds of Zords and weapons and that kind of stuff, but they could be introduced in a completely different way, or maybe a similar way. But either way, what matters is the quality of Power Rangers itself. You know, they can adapt it and make it great, or they can do something completely original and make it great. Either way, they just have to put forth the effort and see. So that's that. Super Megaforce, roughly next month, mid-next month, maybe February 15th. Something like that. We'll have to wait and see. So let me know in the comments below what you think of Super Megaforce. Are you excited? Not excited? Why? Do you agree with me or disagree with me about how I try and keep Power Rangers and Super Sentai separate? Let me know. I definitely want to know what you all think. That's what I like doing about these videos, because you guys can comment below and tell me what you think. So we'll see how that goes. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, got lots of reviews on the way. Got lots of Megaforce toys I need to catch up on with reviews. Then lots of videos of the card game coming up. And then a bunch of SH figure arts. I'll give you a quick little sneak peek. You ready for this? You ready? Okay. So, first of all, I'll grab Megaforce 3DS game, so review coming tomorrow, hopefully, and I'll show you my SH Figure Arts collection. So, there's the SH Figure Arts. I've reviewed some of these, some I may or may not review, like the Shinkenger ones, Samurai ones, I don't know if I will, but this is my current little display. I do have more to open up. I do have like Deca Red and other stuff, but anyways, so that's what's coming up. So if you haven't subscribed, you'll definitely want to subscribe. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and see you guys later.